Antoinette Marie. You know, I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams.
Well, hello, good evening, good afternoon to each and every one of you. I am Antoinette Marie Williams. And how are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Great Wednesday. Listen, I came on a little bit earlier on today because I got something to say, right? I got something I want to speak about. So just kind of chime in, invite your friends and your family. Antoinette Marie Speaks, the show, episode 122, actually starts at 5 o'clock. So I decided to come on just a little bit early. And we're celebrating all things great and all things red for women's heart health. Thus, I have on the red dress on today, darling. And we're going to celebrate that thing we call Valentine's Day. So we're celebrating great heart health and your love, your boo thing, whatever that is. But before we get into that, come on and just say hello. How are you? I could play some really soft music in the background, but what I want to do is this while I put my readers on. And I know that many of you are probably getting off of work. You know what we used to say? We used to say, have you knocked off work? That's a Southern, maybe Alabama thing. Yes, beloved. You see that? Because we're talking about everything love today. But before we get into that, let me say something. So earlier today, let me turn this down. So earlier today, I put a post out. Hey, Facebook friends. Hello, YouTube friends. And hello, my Sister Friends United. I want to just say this. So earlier today, I put out a post. And hey, Aaron, you got to go in and hit the link, right? Remember? Hey, Nia. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Ryan. So earlier today, this morning, actually, I had put out something on Facebook and on IG, Instagram, saying that I really wanted someone to braid my hair. All right. And so y'all know I love to rock a good wrap. Like, this is just me 100%. And so I put this out on Facebook and Instagram that, hey, when you wake up in the morning, what is it that you speak? Pray first and, for your vision. And then also make sure that you speak literally what you want, right? One of my sister friends, Lori, she calls it manifesting, right? So be careful what you speak, be careful what you put out there. And so I had placed out there this morning that I needed my hair braided. This is a lot of hair. I know it might not look like it, but if some of you have seen some of my posts, your sister friend, your minister, I got a lot of hair, y'all. And so I was just kind of trying to decide if I wanted to get it braided, didn't want to get it braided, so on and so forth. And so I put a post out there saying, let me show you how God will work in your life. I put a post out there saying, if anybody can braid my hair today, please inbox me. Now, we all know when people are professional braiders, it's first of all, the enemy within will come and say, girl, listen, you got it's Valentine's week. You kind of doing this at the last minute. You got a lot of hair. How you going to get this done? It's probably going to take somebody about, I don't know, 8, 9 hours, 10 hours to do your hair. It's probably not going to happen. Let me tell you what I did this morning. As I got up this morning, I typically get up 4:30, 5 o'clock. As I meditated, let me tell you what God to do. And this is the only thing I spoke. I said, God, thank you for this great day. It is going to be enriched. I know you're going to do spectacular things in my life, including, see, God will also take care of those small things for you. As we consider small, God will also take care of those small things that come into your life. So baby, I prayed this morning. And I was so bold that I posted it. I posted it on social media and I said, listen, I'm speaking to every atmosphere, any force. The sister need a hair braid. Let me tell you what happened at 1:21. At 1:21 p.m., I got a phone call from a woman that said, Miss Antoinette Marie. I said, yes, beloved. She said, I can braid your hair. Y'all better listen. I know it's just me. It's just me. This is how God does, Antoinette Marie. God is so good. When I tell you he's so good, he's good. I got a whole bunch of songs, Ryan King, in my head. He's good to my soul. When I think about the goodness of God, it just makes me want to clap my hand when I think about it. And listen, if God can trust us with trusting him in those small things, what else do you think God will do? God will do so much for us. So this afternoon, this evening, this morning, I was so blessed. At 1:21, I had a woman to call me. Her name is Carolyn. She is from Branston, and it's Queens, Carolyn Styles. That's her name. She said, I will braid your hair. Baby, I was so happy. You know, like back in the day, we used to all, my children would say, like, Mama, when you getting ready to just show God that how you really feel about him, and we shout, I shouted so good this afternoon. I told this woman, I said, just tell me, what is it that I need? So I'm giving a really great shout out to Miss Carolyn Styles. I am so very, very grateful for you reaching out. I'm very, very grateful, very, very grateful. And so I want to just salute you on today and say thank you so much. I know all of y'all, rest of y'all real deep, but that meant something to me. That did something to my spirit, and I'm really grateful for that. So tell me what you're grateful for today. What did God surprise you with today? And so y'all can tell, I'm always excited. This is my calling. This is what I have been chosen to do, is to speak, is to motivate, is to encourage, and is to help cultivate what's going on in your life from the inside out. And so again, my name is Antoinette Marie Williams, and I'm very excited to be here. So Facebook user, I want to know, tell me a little bit about what is it that you are thanking God today for? Just let me know. Just let me know, because we're getting ready to start the show. I'm very excited about, and I'm gonna tell you now, it's gonna get, we're just gonna let it do what it does, right? We're talking about love. What kind of love is this? And I know many of you probably thought I was gonna be talking about like something different, but I can guarantee you we're talking about relationships on today. And it's going to be absolutely exciting. And I am very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. So tell me what's going on in your life on today. And while we do that, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm just going to play my video really quick. And I am going to be right back, okay?
In this moment I am weakened by your love. Oh, in this moment I am weakened by your love. I am reminded of a time when I was broken, lost in translation in a whirlwind. I was tussled, blinded by reality of daily facing struggle, oblivious to.
Hey y'all, one more time.
In this moment I am weakened by your love. Oh, in this moment I am weakened by your love. I am reminded of a time when I was broken, lost in translation in a whirlwind. I was tussled, blinded by reality of daily facing struggle, oblivious to.
All right, y'all, we are ready. We are getting ready. So today, welcome to Antoinette Marie Speaks. And I am very, very excited again to be your host on today. And what's so great and exciting about this opportunity is you. It's really you. It's really you. It's really you. And so today we're going to be speaking about relationships and what type of love is this? And really what we're going to be focusing on is what type of love is it that speaks to you? So I'm going to go a little bit on the prefix of the 5 love languages, right? We're going to talk about that. And many of us know those 5 love languages. And if you don't know them, how about I give them to you? Number 1, acts of service. Acts of service. Will you kind of do something for me? Number 2, receiving gifts. That's pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, quality time. So that's your love language, like quality time. You really want someone to spend quality time with you. And number 5, physical touch. Like, does that speak to you more than anything else? Physical touch, right? And I really truly believe, and I know I'm a little bit early, so I'm just going to do a little bit, and it's okay to be early, right? There's so many, there are 5 love languages, right, that we really kind of talk about or we speak about. I want to challenge you to know what your love language is. So what I did was I went online and I just Googled it, right? You can go in and you can Google 5 love languages, and there are several like tests that you can go and you can take that will talk about your love language or what your prominent love language is. There's a gentleman by the name of Pastor Gary Chapman who actually developed this love language system. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Y'all didn't know a pastor developed the love language system. Yep, you learned that today. And so when Pastor Gary Chapman developed this system, it really was about, it came from his years of working with other couples as a marriage counselor. And so we're going to talk a little bit about love today. We're going to talk a little bit about what that means, what that looks like. And as we talk about it, I think it's going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you. So if you get an opportunity anytime today, go back and try to figure out what your love language is just by taking the test, right? It's easy. Listen, it's harmless. But one of the things that we're going to talk a little bit today about is relationships and what does it mean to even talk about partnership. What does that mean? What does that look like? We're going to talk about marriage. What does that mean and what does that look like? And let me put my disclosure on here before we even get into it. These are my opinions for the most part, and or my guest opinions. Oh, y'all didn't know I was going to have a guest. Lean in. I got a guest today, y'all. And I'm very excited about our guest. Now, I have had this guest on before. And when I had this guest on before, this fall, I did a series called a love series, right? I did a love series. And when I had this guest on, I got so many individuals wanting to know who this guest is, where does this guest stay? It was a lot of commentary, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. So I say, let's get into this. So I want to be very open. So what I did was, because I can't ask you to do something that I haven't done. So what I did, I went and took the test as well, right? So as I'm online right now, this is like really transparent. So I'm gonna need for you to quiet it over there. Thank you very much. That's my daughter, y'all. So I took this test as well. And so at the end, I'm going to tell you what my love language is. And I actually was 1 point off. They're 1 point off, very, very close on 2. So let's put the spectacles on. Let's get ready to get into this discussion, because I think that it's important as people get ready to celebrate Valentine's Day, when people get ready to buy all this candy and fruit and go into hotels and buy new dresses and buy new shoes. You're going to go get your hair done. You got to go and, get your feet done, all this, right? And so let's talk about it. I say we talk about it. Hey, Ryan. Ryan said that was a beautiful representation of God's love between man and woman who are married. Absolutely. Shout out to Carolyn. We're going to say thank you, Carolyn. So let's go. Let's get into it. When people come in, they can come in a little bit later, but we're going to get into this conversation, right? So I'm going to my notes, y'all. That's what I'm doing. And actually, I'm going to take this off of here. And I'm going to have my notes. Hello, whoever that is that just tuned in. I appreciate you. How are you on today? Let me see who that is. Hey, Sheila. Affirmations. Time together are my top 2. Yay, you know what yours are. Wonderful. I think that's so awesome. I think it's so, so great that you already know, because you've taken the assessment. Let's just call it an assessment, right? So wonderful, Sheila, wonderful. So just stay with me here. So, right. So when we are getting ready to be able to express ourselves to individuals, I think this is really, really, I'm just waiting for my guests to kind of get settled. They're in the back, what we call the green room. And I'm just waiting for my guests to get settled. Good evening, Queen. Good evening. So one of the things that we're going to be talking a little bit today is about love. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? And how do you know what makes you excited? Like, what is your love language, right? And many times I always say to women that I either counsel or I mentor, when they come in, they speak so much fervently about their relationship. And many times they talk about, well, he doesn't treat me the way I want to be treated, or he doesn't do this, he doesn't buy me this, or he should know. How, beloved, would he know anything about you if you don't know something about you? Like, how do you, attract who you are when you don't even know who you are? And so one of the areas of this is that, do you know your love language, right? Which love languages basically are specific ways of giving and receiving love in a relationship. That's what your love language is. How do you like to receive love and how do you give love, right? So just think about it in that context, right? So my guess, if you're ready, will you just give me a thumbs up? So think about it in that context, right? And we talk a little bit about this because words really do matter, right? So I always say at the end of most of my episodes, if you have a husband or a wife, let them know that you love them. Love is not just what you say, but love is also what you do, right? And so one of the things that I know is that my love language, I think I scored a 36 on this, is affirmation. Yes, affirmation, right? And so how do we show affirmation? How do we show that if that's my love language, right? If that's my love language, I need to know that that's my love language. I need to know that's how I want to receive love. I need to be able to tell my husband, right? That's how I want to receive verbally affirmation from him. So let's talk about a few things concerning affirmation. Let's see here. So Ryan said the love language is quality time. Okay, your love language is quality time. Nice. But above all, it's love itself. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love does not boast. Love does not envy. You're absolutely right. So we're going to be focusing one area of affirmation. So how do you, if that's your love language, right? What are some of the things that you can talk about or that you can let your husband or your wife know concerning what are some of the things that they can say to you? One of them is, I love you. One of them also is that, you know what, I really appreciate you. Another one is, you are so beautiful. You're special to me, right? And so we have to know how to not only receive love, we also have to know how to give love. And what kind of love is this? That's why I named it that. What kind of love is this? What kind of love, the expression of love, right? I'll call it that. The expression of love really suits you. And so if you don't know, get an opportunity to go and just take the assessment and see what you learn about yourself. It only takes about maybe 10 minutes, right? I love affirmation because it allows for individuals to let you know how much they actually appreciate you and how much you appreciate them, right? Right? I love when I say when we're talking about these love languages, we're not talking about necessarily a physical love, right? We're not talking about anything. It doesn't have to be sexual, right? Because you can show love and have an expression of affirmation to your daughter, to your son, right? Like you can, if your son or your daughter's love language is, let's say, for instance, affirmation, you could say to them, I could have not done this without you. Thank you. You are fantastic. Think about how that makes someone relate and feel when somebody says to them, I could have not done this without you. What about that? What about somebody speaking those words to you? How does that bring you into their world, right? What would happen to you if every single day you woke up that you had words of affirmation? I think you might stand up a little straighter. You might smile a little, from ear to ear, as they say, right? I think that this process of just learning what your love language is very important, right? I remember my grandmother would say to me, she would say, Annie, you are so beautiful. You're great. You're dynamic. I loved when my grandmother would say that, right? She would say, I'm very proud of you for always trying to do your best. Whatever it is, I'm very proud of you for doing your best, right? So as many individuals go into celebrating Valentine's Day, find out what your husband or your wife's love language is. Even if you are, going to marriage counseling, or your fiance, right? Sometimes it can be just as easy as, it makes my heart melt watching you take care of this, or I value you doing this, or I love the way that you caress my face or my skin. Something very, very simple, right? Doesn't have to be anything extensive, right? So back in the green room, guest, are you ready or no? You are ready? Well, you're not sitting down, so I can't see you. That's important. So one of the things is I wanted to ensure that this conversation is as fruitful as possible. So let's bring on our guest. Here we go. All right.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I was waiting on them to bring me in. So that's why I was
Okay. You were waiting for them to bring you in. No worry.
From the green room.
Oh, from the green room. Yes, you're in room, now. I get it. So thank you, Mr. Aaron Booker, for joining me on this evening.
Thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So today we're talking about love. So the last time you were on Antoinette Marie Speaks, I tell you, you rattled some cages when you were speaking. Yes, you.
Moi?
Yes.
No, not
yes.
moi. No, not
absolutely.
Me.
You rattled some cages.
No,
well, sir.
Not at all.
Yes, you rattled some cages, and I thought it was apropos that you come back on and let's engage in this conversation about love again, right? So tell us a little bit about Aaron Booker. We know that you are a filmmaker. We know that you're doing some really great things, and you have been married once before, and now you're in the field of, maybe call it discovery, or you speak it. I don't want to put words in your
mouth. Okay. So let's first, let me reiterate your disclaimer and just put a tag on it. Antoinette Marie Speaks is not responsible for any of the opinions of her guests or their affiliates, or any words or language they may use on her show. So
that is correct.
Put that out there so that everybody understands.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you for having me on. And of course, I respect the space.
Please do.
Because you have allowed for it to be an open and truthful space.
Yes.
I can't help but do that. So if that ruffles a few feathers, as you said before, then I can't be responsible for that. Oh, by the way, I love the apple pie that you had in the back room.
apple pie.
Yes, the apple pie. Yes, the apple pie is absolutely excellent. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's go. Got
it. The apple, for those that know, the apple pie is good. So
yes, okay. So let's talk about, what do you believe like your love language is, and what does that mean, and what do you do?
Interestingly enough, I always said that my love language was communication and affection, not attention, affection, and the two are different. I then went and took the test, just to be sure.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I apologize. That was a call, interrupted. I was trying to get the link to my email, but it didn't work. Anyway, so the 5 love languages, I went ahead and took a test. And me being who I am, because there was a couple of them, I did 3. I did 3 different sites.
Okay.
The first one came up with affirmations, interesting, which is communication. The second came up with touch, which is affection. And then the third one said words of encouragement, which is also affirmation. So going back to the first one, it broke down as the following: 30% words of affirmation, 27% acts of service, 20% quality time, 17% physical touch, 7% receiving gifts. And that's pretty on par. I kind of mix the physical touch with quality time. No, they're different. They're different. So that could stay. And acts of service, that's all right. So
your number one was
I would
affirmation.
Say my love language is, my number one was affirmation, and the second one by this is acts of service. But I just, that's just 7% between acts of service and quality time. So,
okay,
that's just 7%. Make one question.
So tell me, were you surprised at your number one was affirmation?
No, because as I said, that goes with communication. Well, actually, yes, because it goes with communication, affirmation wise, yes. Because I've never been one to think that I needed to hear. And this is specific, which is not always affirmation. I don't need to hear "I love you" every day, or I don't need to hear "I love you" 5 times a day and all that. I don't need to hear that. However, the touch, a hug, noticing something is actually the action of love. So though I don't need to hear the words, having an action or seeing it does make a difference. And it is something that I not require, but it is something that I like,
Do you think that if more individuals would kind of embrace and I guess first know specifically what is their love language, do you think that perhaps their relationships would improve or be better?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Because remember the last time the last time I was here, we talked about pink flags and red flags, turning red flags pink, or ignoring flags altogether, deal breakers, and things like that. If you know what your love language is, and you are able to communicate that up front, that allows the other person to either understand where they either meet, fall short, or cannot or cannot meet the that requirement. For instance, some people are communicators. So if you tell someone I'm a communicator, I like to talk, but the person doesn't like to talk, then you can't be mad when you're sitting on the couch for 3 hours and he hadn't said a word to you. and he's just watching TV, and y'all are just watching TV, but he hasn't engaged with you in any conversation because he doesn't talk or she doesn't talk. But you knew that from the beginning if it was communicated. If a person is not does not want to be physically touched, then if you are always trying to hug, always trying to rub, always trying to PDA, and they keep shunning or they keep pushing away your affections, then you're going to feel some kind of way like they don't want me. No, it's not that they don't want you. It's just they don't want you that way, like that often, because that's not what they like. So I do believe it is a good thing to know what you want from your partner in terms of love languages and what you can provide in terms of love language. And yeah, it works both ways. It's not just about what you can get, it's about what you can give in order to make it work.
Okay. So you said a mouthful. So you talked a little bit about, how important it is for individuals to know what their love language is. But pretty much what I heard you say was like, if you know that your fiancés or a person that you're with, if their love language is affirmation and you don't affirm them, you don't display that, then you kind of get what you get, right? Is that what you kind of saying? Like you have to know, like if somebody doesn't want to be touched, go ahead.
And yeah, if someone doesn't want to be touched and you like to touch, then you can't get mad when they don't want you to touch them. Because you can't expect someone, another thing that hold on, I need a little taste of this pie before we get in this one.
And while you're tasting the pie, I think this is a really interesting conversation, and it's a conversation from different perspectives. And I'm glad that you're on Antoinette Marie Speaks today, because you coming in as a male, I think it really gives women some understanding of, and not all, you don't speak for all men. I do totally understand that.
Yeah. I'm not the ordinary. I'm not the typical. I'm not. No.
Hey, Keisha.
I can just speak for me. So,
right. Okay. So let's go back into that. What you were just saying.
So, okay, you threw me with that. What was I saying?
What you were talking about, you said if somebody doesn't like to be touched, and
right. Yeah. So if someone doesn't, So if someone doesn't want to be touched, and you like to touch, then you can't get mad at them for shunning or not wanting to be touched, which goes into when you get into a relationship, you have to remember you are accepting a person where they are, who they are at that moment. You're not accepting a person that you can mold into something you might see in the future. I'm not saying that you do not see potential. What I'm saying is that you cannot look at the person and say, okay, this part of you I like, this I don't like. We can work on that, and that'll change.
That can't. Wait, hold on now. Hold on. I think that is a very right now type of conversation. I love that you said that, because many times male and female, women and men, will try to pick and choose certain things that they admire about an individual, but then on the other side they'll say, well, we can work on that. And many times when people say, well, we can work on that, that's basically them saying, I'm gonna try to change you. I'm gonna change you because I don't really like that, but that's how you are. But I'm gonna try to mold you into being what I now like. And I think what's so important is that before you get into any type of relationship, but let's just talk about, we're talking about love here, right? That we have to know who we're getting into a relationship with, and that we're not meant to try to change, we as another human to another human, to try to change another human. What's your thoughts?
That you're absolutely right. How that plays into the current conversation in terms of love languages. If your love language doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Just because you say it over and over again or do it over and over again does not mean it will fit.
Mm-hmm.
The other person may at some point decide to say, okay, I'll go ahead and accept it. That's just the way that person is. And they acquiesce. At some point, however, it's going to get old and they may revert back to, I didn't like that in the first place.
Wow.
That's not something I ever wanted from you in the first place. You know, you'll hear that come up should the relationship go on the downside, and then arguments start to happen or things like that happen. These little things come out.
Mm-hmm.
The truth always comes out. Always.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I trust me, I believe in love. I always want love to win. I am a helpless romantic.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have also come to be a realist when it comes to relationships and how people interact with each other.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is,
you
can't change nobody that doesn't want to be changed.
You can't?
And you can't change with nobody. You can't change nobody that wants to be changed. I'm trying to word the other one correctly to get it out right. And and you knew what you got when you got there. You knew what you got when you started.
So can you tell me this? Why do you think individuals try to change other individuals when they when the other the partner or the spouse is saying, listen, this is what I like? Why do you think we as human beings, we don't just say, you know what? Like if Sheila or Keisha said, hey, they were in a relationship and said, hey, my love language is quality time. And somebody comes back and they're like, well, I don't really like sitting down, you know, and spending quality time. I'm on the road a lot. You know, do you think that that's a relationship that can be successful?
I do believe so if they find depending upon what the definition of quality time is. Quality time isn't quality time for everybody. Quality time isn't always sitting on the couch. Quality time, it may just be activities together. So even though you may be on the road, if you like being on the road, when you come home and if you sit with me, that might be all the quality time I need. As opposed to you out on the road, and then when you come home, you not home. There's a difference. Okay. So and that goes to all the love language. There's still, even though we have these love languages and we say that this is what it is, there is still a nuance. There's still nuance, and there's still levels within that you can work with. A person can decide to work with. How much affirmations do you need? How much physical touch do you need? How much quality time do you need? What does that quality time look like? Is that quality time sitting down conversation with communication? Or is that quality time just being in your presence? Can I just sit here with you and just gaze upon your lovely being and have your radiance just flow over me and be satisfied? You know, so there is latitude in each love language or in each relationship for people to decide just how much they want. Now, we're talking, of course, in zero sums. We're talking if you do or don't in terms of overall for our conversation, for the services of this conversation, it's an either or. It's an either or. Either you do it or you don't. However, the reality is we sacrifice how much we want of our love languages for the betterment of for how much we want to have the relationship. So if my significant other doesn't like to be touched a lot, however, does want to be touched, it's just certain times. Like, don't do it in public. When we at home, you can touch me all you want. You know, wherever you want, and you can do that. But when we out in public, don't touch me. Okay, cool. I can do that. Or I have to decide whether or not I can do that. I want to communicate with you. I like talking to you, but you don't need to call me throughout the day. Don't call me all hours of the day. You know, if I leave the house at 8 o'clock, you can call me once about 12, and then when I get home in the evening, and you have me for the rest of the night. So that person when you set those parameters, you have to remember, you have to be good enough to stick to them, to allow your significant other to express themselves in those times. And that way, if the agreement is solid, then you could be very successful.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is that I truly believe like love is the strongest and healthiest form of human bonding that any male or female can ever belong to. I truly believe that. And so with your conversation, do you believe that like when you're in a relationship or you're getting like a relationship is new, let's say you just met somebody and you're feeling all yummy and you're like, oh, she's cute and so on and so forth. Or, you know, one of the Facebook user, or even Keisha. So let's say Keisha let's say Keisha or Ryan, you know, so you're like, oh, wow, you know, I'm attracted to that individual. Like, how soon do you have conversations like this? Like, how soon do you have conversations about, you know, love languages? Or even if you don't say the title love languages, how soon do you engage in a conversation that talks about this is what I need, this is what I'm looking for, when is too soon, and when is too late, too late?
It depends on where you're going to go with the relationship. And once again, let me give the disclaimer that the thoughts and opinions of the guests, the people of Antoinette Marie, are not the same as Antoinette Marie, nor is she responsible for any of those things. Let's be honest. It depends on where you're going to go with the relationship. If you are there for fun, or if you are there to make this a long-term commitment, if you are looking for a wife, then you're going to adjust your conversation subjects to that timeline. For instance, if I'm not looking for a wife and I'm having a conversation with Keisha, and Keisha, please, I don't know, please don't think I don't want you as a wife. I don't know you to not know if I want you as a wife. I'm just saying because she used your name. So if I'm talking with Keisha and you know, the conversation starts off, because we've all had these conversations where they go straight to bow, chicka, bow, bow, don't, you know. So I may not even be worried about wifey material at that point. I might not even that's not even going to be in my purview at that point. I'm going to stay on that right there, and let's get to the cookie. If that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. Now, if the conversation doesn't go that way, yet stays in a I want to get to know you better type vibe, then that's where you decide what probing questions are you going to ask. And I would say, if off the top, your mindset is I'm looking for a wife, so let me talk to this person like that, then probably by conversation number 2, you're going to start inserting love language stuff. First thing is going to be background. Where you been? Who are you? Who's your mama? Who's your daddy? What kind of dog did you have? How much is in your bank account? Okay, don't tell me that. How many bank accounts? Something like that would probably be the first conversation, 3rd hour.
Okay.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, first conversation, 3rd hour. And then the second conversation is going to be starting out with, okay, well, let's really talk about how would you treat me? Yeah, and not saying, not having the question, how would you treat me, but let me find out who you are in terms of being able to interact with me specifically.
Okay.
And so probably by conversation 2, depending on if you're serious, is when that happens. And of course, like I said, if you just out for the fun, if you're just looking for fun, love languages may not even come up unless you're just trying to find out if you're affectionate.
Okay, so I want to take a brief break right now because it's very interesting. I just got a notification from Facebook saying that my content is somebody else's, which I don't understand how my content that I'm speaking is actually somebody else's content, which is I don't even think I played a song. So
sabotage.
I want to
sabotage.
Apologize to people because I kept getting texts and people were like, we can't see you on here. And I try to be really present whenever I'm engaging in a conversation. So I want to apologize. I'm not sure you all maybe go and hit the replay. But it is me. It is Antoinette Marie Williams. And this is my content. And this is my, guest, Aaron Booker. So let's keep going. All right.
I don't believe I belong to anybody else except God right now.
It's very odd.
Let me check.
Very odd. Okay, so let's.
I don't have any other tags on me.
Let me ask you this question: how long do you think, if an individual is ready to be married, right? In your opinion, how long should the courting stage actually be? Like, how long should someone actually court? Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going to ask some of these questions because I know everybody's excited about, Valentine's Day, and people are getting their hair and their nails done and, got all the smell good stuff. But are you really ready to date? Because some people just are not ready to date. Some people are actually enthroned by the aspect or the idea of dating. And some married folk that got married was didn't really want to be married. They just wanted to just be taken care of. So how long, someone that's ready to be married, how long should that process be?
Man, it's a heck of a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know back in the day it was different. I'm going to say this. I think what's more important, it's not the amount of time, it's how you court. What is the intention behind the courting? That's really where it is. Because if you want somebody and you want to marry them, you know from the very beginning whether or not.
What does that mean? The very beginning.
I do believe in chemistry. I do believe in chemistry. I do believe in connection. I do believe that there is that spark. And in order to find out whether or not you want to spend the rest of your life with this person, so you court them to find out until you know for a fact that spark is real and it wasn't a flash in the pan.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes.
Really? Do now.
That's the spark. That's the spark.
That's the spark. Okay. So
that's the spark.
Y'all are joining in now.
So when you.
So listen.
Yes.
My question to you is: you said that's the spark. What does that spark? How do you know that that's the spark? Do you sense something? Do you feel something? Is God saying something to you? Talk about that.
All of that. all of that. Because if you acquiesce, first and foremost, if you acquiesce your search to God and you saying, show me where she is, then you're going to hear, that's her right there. You're going to hear that. Or you're going to hear, if you think that's her, you're going to hear, no, it's not. No, that's not her. You're going to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't acquiesced it to God, yet you are searching for your own self, I would say that you are going to get the feeling. You may physically have your breath taken away. You may feel that shudder up your spine. Personally, mine came from my gut into, actually it was below my gut. It started from the below my gut, and traveled up and warmed me here. It warmed all this, okay? And the approach was nervous. You even no matter how confident you are, because you're gonna be confident, because that's so you're gonna go after it. And when you're gonna go after it, the response, if the response is positive, chemistry kicks in. Chemistry kicks in, it's dangerous. And the reason when the chemistry kicks in and it's dangerous, what happened? Oh, there's a little delay for me on my side, there's a little delay between you speaking and
actually. Are you on your phone?
Yes.
That's why. I'm on the computer. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So when that chemistry kicks in, that's what could lead to a nice dinner, a nice nightcap, and maybe even breakfast in the morning. Or it may not lead to breakfast in the morning. It may lead to regret. So you have to be careful when that chemistry kicks in. When we talk about this attraction, it's a very strong attraction. And that's really what love at first sight is, because you can't really love anybody you don't know. Well, there's a general, not in that way. You can't love anybody you really don't know. You don't know if you're willing to sacrifice your life for this person. You don't know whether or not you'll go to the end, that you'll empty out your bank account if they need it. You don't know any of these things. So actually, when we say love at first sight, I do believe in that strong attraction, that initial, this is something I have got to explore, because this one right here, I cannot let this one get away. So for lack of a better phrase, yes, love at first sight. If you play it right, then you will have the chemistry. If you cut the night off and go home alone, only to reconvene the next day, that's when you start to solidify whether or not, this is worth going further.
What do you believe that, from a male's perspective, from a man's perspective, what is, if you can give me 2 to 3 different attributes about a woman, a mature woman, that a mature man really looks for in a mature woman when they're looking to be married, when they're looking to have a lifelong companion, a wife or a husband, what are the 2 to 3 things that men, I know you don't speak for all men, I don't speak for all women, but talk a little bit about what you believe. Hey, Michelle.
Support.
Okay.
Support/loyalty.
Support and loyalty. Okay. And I think as you're thinking, I think it's very engage in this conversation, because I know a lot of women that are very professional, women that they make their own money, women that are bosses in their sector, their league, And for you to say support, so obviously I'm going to ask you, because some people are coming on now, they're chiming in. So my question is going to be, what does support look like to you? And then we'll talk about what does loyalty look like to you.
Okay, so apple pie. All right, so
support.
Loyalty, support. Support is when I come from outside, when I come home, for whatever I've been through out there, when I come home, what I don't need is getting beat down in here like I got beat down out there. And so the support looks like, this is what happened to me today. I don't need a dissertation on what I could have done different, on what I should have done, on why I didn't. I don't need none of that, because 9 times out of 10, I've already thought of all of that. I've already beat myself up on it. I don't need that. Yeah. What I need is, and I know this is going to sound real, and I'm going to make it simple, but it's a little more complicated than this, or a little more involved in this, but I'll make it real simple. Baby, come here. Come here, right here. Come on, right here. Come on, right here. Okay. All right. Now, some men will say, I don't need no, I don't need no woman. I ain't a crybaby. No, it ain't about crying. I'm not talking about crying. When I say baby, come here, it's she understands. Like for me, forget it. This is me. I want to be able to come home, and if I've had a bad day, lay my head right on her lap and have her stroke my head. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't want to hit, because to me, the world is fixed in that moment. Even though everything may still not be taken care of, it's fixed for me in that moment because I have a safe place. So support is a safe place. Support is a safe place.
That is very good. That's very interesting, because I think that's massive. What you said is that support to you looks like a safe place. And I want to say, I totally agree. You know, I don't think that there is, whether you're male or female, when someone goes out of your home, out of the shelter, out of the safe haven, and they're interceding, they're experiencing other things at work. Something didn't happen, the P&L sheet didn't come out right, so on and so forth. And then when they're coming home, they should be able to feel like, this is my citadel. Like, not only that, but they should also, hey Tina, but they should also be able to anticipate coming home. And I think a lot of times what happens is that when we have individuals that like have their own thing and are not really self-aware, that your spouse does not want to hear as he's coming home, oh, this bill came up and take out the garbage and why you didn't do this and why you didn't do that. I think that's a piece for a married couple, you know, that's a piece where people have to really truly like understand that it's not, you can't just bust in on somebody and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes and then I'm gonna tell you that's not what support looks like. So I appreciate you saying that support really, it looks like, listen, give me a hug. Like, let me put your head on my shoulder. You know, I got a song for everything, y'all. But it really does look like that. And I think
silhouette challenge.
I think coming from a male's perspective, I'm really glad to hear that's important, because a lot of males may not be as eager to even communicate that that's what support really looks like.
Yeah, and then so loyalty, moving on to loyalty is don't cut me when we out in public, even if I'm wrong. Don't cut me. Don't cut me. No. You cut me when we get back to the house. You don't cut me in public.
Okay, explain what you say cut, because I want to make sure that it's very, but I know it, I believe I know what you mean. So explain that.
Don't if we are, and I'm gonna put this in a business setting, and I'm gonna put this more in a business setting or something like that. If I'm saying something, or I'm responding to something, and it may not be the best way to respond. Don't cut and run, or don't stop me and jump with the other person. You know, if you stopping me to save me. And of course I have to recognize that. But if it's and you have to read the situation. It's a different kind of situation. But it's like you don't make me look a certain, you don't make me, and when I say me, I'm saying your partner. You don't make, let me say that. You don't make your partner look a certain way. You don't make them look any other way than good. Okay? So oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to explain this. I'm gonna have to go a bit deeper. Once again, disclaimer.
A 60-minute show, Mr. Aaron.
Okay, all right. Disclaimer. So when you work in a room together, say y'all doing something, you work in a room together. Then if I split one way and you go the other way, then I have to know whatever game plan we had in the beginning, that game plan is going to be followed, and you ain't gonna let somebody else talk up in your ear and get you off our game plan.
Okay.
And that's what if I ask you to do something without no question, then that's what you do. Now that might sound like some other type of stuff, but it's not. If I can't explain it to you, then I can't explain it to you. But if I'm telling you, you got to be here and you got to do this, do that. Period. Don't ask. Ask me when we get back to the house, but just don't ask me right now. Trust me, because I'm not going to put you in a position that is going to be detrimental to you or me. I'm not going to let nothing hurt you, because hurting you is hurting me. Now that's my words. That's my words.
So being that I think some of that I can't agree with. Now, when you're saying those things, I think for most women, a lot of it has to do with tone. Like if we are, like you, let's say you and your significant other, right? Does that go both ways? Shamika, you getting ready to do it. So first thing is tone. Like women do not like when even if it's her husband or her boyfriend or man friend or whatever you want to call it, coming to them just like fierce. Like tone means a lot. Even if we're in a situation where, something may be going awry, and you don't want me to say anything about it, but there's a way that you say to me, like, or hold my hand or squeeze it or something. Don't be like, listen, I told you you can't come. Baby, let me tell you one thing, sugar pie, that will get you nowhere. I want to just say that. And I think that it goes both ways. There are times where men have to be able to receive that as well. Also understand, like, if you're saying that you would not place her in harm's way and something comes up and you have to say something, a man has to also understand that same thing. Like, listen, I didn't have an opportunity to chime you in, but this is what's happening. This is what's going down. And I'm gonna need for you to pull back a little bit without even saying it. Do you agree?
I do, and which brings me to my next point. You asked for 2 or 3, so here's the third one: maturity.
Okay.
Because there are going to be those times where I may not have the chance or the opportunity to squeeze your hand, or I may come at you what you would consider rough. So you have to be mature enough to know me in this relationship. I see what I hear you, and
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna have to. No,
let me finish. Let me finish.
Sure.
Let me finish. Because, and the reason why I say you have to recognize those times, because those times, number one, should not be frequent, and they should not be often, and they should not be plentiful. Okay, I'm talking about one-offs. And in the breadth of a relationship, there may be a few one-offs. In this situation over here, 5 years ago, this happened, and then 10 years later, in this situation, though the situation looked the same, the circumstances were different, it happens again, maybe a different way. So you're mature enough to understand that in the times that it happens, that has nothing to do with the breadth of your relationship or how he or she feels about you. It has nothing to do with belittling you. It has nothing to do with looking at you a certain way in that moment. It has everything to do, however, with the situation, what was going on, what the circumstances are, and what had to get done. And maybe it just was not enough time to talk to you like I normally do. Maybe it's not enough time for me to do this. And then I know it goes through your head. Well, if you had enough time to say this, then you could have said that. Well, okay, I'm the one that's thinking, though. I'm the one that's communicating it. So it's my head that's working, not yours. You're on the outside. You're not in here. So if you're not in here and I'm conveying to you what I need, then understand these wheels are still moving. And I just maybe can't slow down right then. It doesn't mean that I think of you or feel you any different. It means in that moment, in that time, this is what I had to get done for us.
Mm-hmm. What I do want to say is this. I understand the concept, but I will say that with everything that you've said, there should never be a time where either a male or a female will be disrespectful to the person, to the wife, to the husband that he says that he loves. I don't care if you are in a situation where it's a business deal or something, or I just had to say it that way. Well, when you say that you just had to say it that way, you have to also, when we're talking about maturity, you have to also keep in mind of the individual person that you're saying it to. You don't necessarily, there could possibly be some trauma that person has experienced. And if you snap, I'll give you an example. For me, if you snap your fingers at me, that's done. I have shut down. And it's that way because I have trauma. I had been traumatized by someone in my family that would always snap their fingers. Come on. So for me, it doesn't matter if you say you loved it at me, if we're in a business environment and something just has to get done. I would rather, and perhaps other people may agree with you or may agree with me, is I would rather you say, hold on, let me talk to my wife. Now, I would say 98% of the time, you have that capability of saying that. But I cannot excuse you because once the meeting is over, I have not said and heard anything else that you have said. Because now I'm traumatized by the way that you spoke to me because you're trying to help something, maybe trying to get a point across, so on and so forth. But now, here's the dual in this. Now you're going to have to deal with, though that happened 25 minutes ago, we can't go out to dinner because I got an attitude with you because of the way you handled me. And I don't think there's ever a time where a husband, no matter what the situation is, should mistreat or disrespect or dishonor his wife, her husband. And I would love to hear what some of you are saying here on social media. Shima said, wouldn't it be better taken if you said, I love that. I love that, Shima. You're absolutely right. Now that may be a little bit different. Now, if you, let's just say you and Shima. Let's say you and Shima are in something, or y'all having a conversation, and you know that there's something that's happening, and you may be trying to save her life, maybe trying to save the business or whatever. and you come in and you say, well, I just want to say, and she's saying, and she comes to you and she says, or in the meeting, and she says, well, this is really, what I wanted to say, or this is really how it was. If you use, because you said that your main thing is about communication. So you, as being the communicator as you are, it would be wise for you to say, listen, beloved, I love you. Please trust me on this one. Now, I know from being married, there's a look that my husband can give me, and I know what that look looks like. That look is, listen, almost like what you said, there's something that's happening, whether it's up here or whether it's actually tangibly happening. I don't really have a whole lot of time to explain it. This may be a life or death situation, but there is a communication that a husband and a wife can have without dishonoring, without being, without decreasing your husband or your wife. And I like what she said. Trust me on this, dear. Have a code word. I don't care what you have, but nothing should cause disrespect.
I never intended for what I'm describing to go to the level of disrespect. And that's part of my point in terms of maturity. You have to understand when it is disrespect, when it's not disrespect. Even though taking your example of the snap, snapping for you is a trauma. Snapping for that person is a way to get themselves going or whatever. It's a tick for them. It may be a tick for them. So then when they're doing it and in the middle of them talking to you, they start doing this. Are you shutting down? Is it disrespect? Are they doing it to you, or is it a part of them? You have to know the difference. Well, let me be clear. Let me be very, very clear. And I'm not backing away from anything I said. I'm not backing away from anything I said. The actions that you do should not disrespect. How you react in those moments that I'm talking about, those finite moments, should not disrespect or dishonor your spouse. However, if the other person, I can't, it's not about the intent, it's about how it's taken. So if my intent is not to disrespect you, if you still feel like you were disrespected, then you were disrespected. There is a level of maturity, however. If that is not a consistent thing, if that is not a behavior that happens, then that's where the maturity kicks in. And okay, 25 minutes later, you've breathed, you've had your breath, you understand, and instead of having an attitude saying, well, we ain't going to dinner, you say, look, I want to say something to you. I want to say something to you, and I need you to hear me when I say this. And at that point, when you explain how you accepted the action and the action to you was disrespectful, then to your spouse, it should be, I understand, because we are past that situation now.
Sure.
Now we're past it. And what I mean by past it is not right here. It's not right here. It's gone. So now I can hear you. You can hear me. And yes, we should still be able to go out to dinner.
Okay, so let's
and have fun after that.
Right. So let's break this up. Okay, so being that it's Valentine's week or weekend, so on and so forth. So what would be, we're talking about what kind of love is this, y'all? Thank y'all for joining me. Baniqua. I love saying your name, Baniqua. I keep telling you that. So being that we're celebrating, we're recognizing this, and we're recognizing.
I like that myself. Baniqua.
We're recognizing, heart health, thus the red, heart health, right? And so, hey, Edwin.
I thought it was for the blood, being covered in the blood. No.
Okay, it can be for that too. It can be for that too. So what I wanted to do was ask from a male's perspective, what is your ideal dinner date? What's your ideal date?
Is this PG-13 or?
What is your ideal?
Okay.
one. What's your ideal day? Tell me about this process. What happened?
Ideal dinner date is good food, great conversation, and hey,
good food, great conversation.
Apple pie, nightcap, breakfast in the morning. I don't know.
Apple pie, but okay, I get it. So let's move on to the next question, because we're talking about what type of love is this, and it seems like you might have a little help because we got Edwin just came in. So Edwin, we are just Shamika, we are just talking about everything love. We're talking about relationships. Aaron is talking about apple pie. I think that it is. We're talking about.
You see this decanter here? I think this decanter is nice.
See, Shamika, this is the reason. This is the reason. I try to be real selective of the guests that I have on that.
I got that decanter on sale. It's lead crystal. You know I like.
We don't care if you got the decanter on sale for $2.99. Stay focused, bruh.
Oh heck no, not $2. Not $2. I ain't cheap. I ain't cheap.
Okay, so when you're knowing that your love language is affirmation, okay? So let's say one of the let's say the person that you're dating, their love language is receiving gifts. How are you able to do that? What does that look like for you? Or we call it more of, receiving gifts is love language. What is the best gift, without a lot of the commentary, what is the best love language gift that you've actually received? You thought I was going to go the other way, but I didn't.
Whoa.
Wow. That you have actually.
Wow.
Listen, if your love language is receiving gifts, and I want you, Vaniqua and Facebook user and Edwin, I want y'all to post in the posting on the comments, Michelle, what is the gift? If your love language is, if their love language is receiving gifts, right? What is the best gift actually given to somebody? Edwin, so as you think about that, Mr. Booker, Edwin said regular food and fun, nothing fancy.
Regular food and fun.
I love that you said nothing phony. I love that. Now, fancy, I'm fancy. I like fancy. Mr. Booker, are you
the best? I'm right here. I'm still here.
Right, but my show is live.
My phone is I know my phone is about to die. My phone is about to die. Man, when it comes to,
I know, Shamika, we can't take Aaron nowhere. We can't take him nowhere. He just get up and leave a live broadcast.
Now you know you can take me. You can take me everywhere.
I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Yeah, what happened?
No,
what happened? Hello?
Yeah,
I should be here.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. No, here it comes.
Okay.
Here it comes. There it is. See? Okay.
Why you think about that?
Man.
My date flew me to Vegas. So in my Jackie voice. Yeah.
I can tell you.
Anthony Williams, get in here. You're right.
The not so good gift.
No, sir. No, sir.
I can tell you not so good gift.
That was not the question.
I know, but I can't think of one. But I got one that wasn't. It totally surprised me. It threw me sideways. A pool table.
You received a pool table?
I received a pool table.
Okay. How did that throw you sideways?
Because I was not expecting that, and that's not what I wanted. And it was actually, and I didn't play pool that much.
Okay.
I mean, if I went out to play pool, so I would have to say.
So what is the gift? What? So okay, let's do this one. Okay, it's a question. I know I reversed it. I knew it would stump most people. So what is the gift, if you know that your spouse is your girlfriend, is their love language is receiving gifts, what is the best gift that you have given to the person that you love in a relationship? What's like the best?
Pampering. I gave them, I gave them pampering spa day. Exclusive. And it was the top of the line in city place with the whole, gave them like whatever package they wanted. They could get whatever they wanted in the package.
So a spa day. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. It included a massage and all the rest of that. And then I did set up my own little romantic spa thing, and then the milk bath with the honey and the lights and all that, rose petals and stuff. So,
Mr. Booker, you put a romantic bath together with rose petals and milk bath and honey.
Mm-hmm. Now, remember, also for the guys out there. Now, for guys out there, look, milk bath, no, you don't go get 2%. You don't go get the 2% from the store. You don't go get whole milk, nothing like that. What you do is you go get the milk powder. You just get the milk powder, and you just put enough in there with the Epsom salts so that it colors the water. That's all you need. You don't need to go get no milk, no, because she's going to get out sticky. It's not, no, don't do that. You always do your research before you embark upon things like that. Yeah, the internet is a wonderful thing.
I appreciate you saying that. I think that might have helped out a few people. Yes, please. If you want to do a milk bath, please do not go and do 2% soy, oat, or almond milk. That's not how it works. So let's take a look to what some people Michelle said. So does Aaron believe in the 90-day rule, or does he try to get the cookie on the first date? That's a question from an audience member. And
like I said before, I believe in chemistry. I'm not a greedy person, so if you're putting me on a 90-day rule, here's the thing about a 90-day rule, or here's the thing about rules, period.
And I'm sorry, no, sir.
Okay, all right. Answering the question, for me, it doesn't matter. I'm about chemistry. If you want to wait 90 days or beyond 90 days, what are we doing? That's what I need to know. What are we doing? Are we?
So you're asking why are we waiting 90 days? When you say what are we doing, is that what you mean? Like why are we waiting 90 days?
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not asking why are we waiting the 90 days. I'm saying, are you looking at me? What are your intentions? What do you want out of this relationship? Are you looking to date me for long term? Are you looking to just have fun and still make sure that I'm worth it? Or are you just in a space right now where, it is what it is? And the reason why I say that is because I have encountered the 90-day rule, and though I was respectful of that position, I didn't break it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I can't let everybody that says they're on a 90-day rule doesn't adhere to the 90-day rule, because things happen and chemistry, attraction is real. So for me, I'll stick to whatever it is you want to do, understanding what we are doing. As long as I know what we're doing, I'm good with whatever.
Okay. So if being that that's the case, so one of the things I think is very interesting is that this is a really great conversation. And what I did with the type of person that I am, because the person that asked that question, I believe that, hey, it's important for you to be able to ask a question, but also I'll put you on program, Michelle. That's how we're doing it here today on Answer That with Reese Speaks. We are speaking about love languages. We are speaking about what kind of love is this. So this is what I did, y'all. We can just increase our capacity on today. So since you asked that question, beloved Michelle, I just sent you the link in your message. Go to your message. Oh, Michelle said, I understand. There we go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hello, Michelle. How are you?
I just sent you the link in your message. Go to your message. Oh,
you can turn it down. Michelle, so tell me this. What about what Mr. Aaron Booker said that kind of sparked you to want to engage in this conversation? You have the floor.
I mean, it's just so much. He just kind of like, all over the place to me. It just sounds like he meets women, and if they click, then there is no 90-day rule. I'm the one that said the 90-day. Do you have a 90-day rule, basically? So it just sounds like if the woman is down and they want to have sex, then he'll do that, right? But
is that what you were saying, Aaron?
I don't know. It just feels like that.
Okay, so let me
that's what he's saying.
Let me clarify. I do have my standards too. That's how many one night stands I had in my lifetime. That's how many. 3 one night stands.
Okay.
I have had not too many more first date rendezvous as well, because I myself am picky. So I do not judge a woman if she wants to on the first date. I do not judge. However, once again, I can always say it goes to where I was in that space and time and what I was looking for. If I wasn't looking for anything serious, then okay, then this is what it is. If she's not looking for something serious, obviously, then that could possibly happen. If she is looking for something more serious, and the conversation may lean that way, however, there's going to be a pause. And that's fine. That's fine. It's not that I'm all over the place or she's like, okay, whatever it is. No, I just believe that I do believe in connection. And I do believe that you should take the opportunity, if you so wish to explore those things, then do that. Now, keep in mind, the older you get, and this is where I am now, those things don't matter so much.
What doesn't matter?
If you want to do something on the first date, as far as if the chemistry is strong, it has to be very strong for me right now at this point to go that far on a first date. Most of the time, it's like, because of where I am and what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to do, that's wasted energy and wasted time. Okay. Unless, being totally transparent, unless it's a distraction.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you meet a woman and then right out the gate you meet someone and then you have sex with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you have chemistry. Are you thinking instantly, this is the one? This might be the one? I mean, are you thinking like long term?
I'm thinking, let's see where this goes. If there's chemistry there, let's see where this goes. I'm a poet. And I know you didn't know that about me. I did a poem. I wrote a poem called 0 to 150 about this very thing. And the whole thing, it was the perspective of the male, and I did both the male and the female on that night. Meeting at a party, you see each other across the dance floor, it just clicks. Something just clicks. So what happens? Y'all get together, you go make out, and it goes all the way. And the questions in her head are, and once again, disclaimer, okay, because I'm gonna quote a line. So disclaimer. One line is, out of her head, she's thinking, would you think me a whore if I told you I wanted more with my face pressed against the hardwood floor? And then from the man's perspective is, this night could have never happened unless there was a connection. Me and you like this could never be unless there was already a connection there. So then in the morning after, it's worth exploring, because I'm not going to get down with anybody like this to begin with. Things like this just don't happen. It's not just a physical thing when it happens like this. So with me personally, when I do have a moment of chemistry with someone, it's beyond physical. So I have to find out. For me, I have to explore whether or not this is something that can be expounded upon and where this is going to go. Because when I firmly believe that when you have sex with a person, you connect. That's a connection. And that's a connection on a spiritual level. It's not just a physical level. So when you connect on a spiritual level like that, you are allowing somebody to attach to you, and you are attaching to somebody where you are going to have a quantum entanglement. So unless you explore that entanglement to a resolution, there would be residual that is going to be attached to you as you move forward. There's going to be a monkey on your back.
Okay,
so
I get that.
Yeah, so if you're right, so if you're going to do it, then do it with the purpose of understanding that it's more than just a physical thing. So to answer your question, no, I don't. I firmly believe that after having such an experience, it is worth exploring.
Okay, so you're not opposed to doing things that way?
No, but you have to back off. You're going to have to back off. You can't take that one moment and say, this is what it is, because you haven't explored that person. You've explored that person physically in that moment, but you don't know anything else about that person past the conversation or the interaction that you had. And as I said earlier, you can't love anybody that you don't know. You can't truly love your spouse if you don't know them. You can't truly love a person. You don't know if you're going to sacrifice for this person. You don't know if you're willing to go to a situation where you are going to lose things or go to the edge with this person. You don't know any of that until you know the person. So even past that moment, you still have to establish those things. And it would be on you. If you didn't, that would be your fault. If you just decided to try to pursue something and keep going and not defining what it is.
Okay,
what you think about, not even so much about his conversation, but even just about the whole entire conversation that we're having? Like, like, what's your love language? You know what your love language is, and how do you feel about some of the things that Mr. Booker's talked about?
Just off the top of my head, no, I can't even think about what my love language is. And I came in I wasn't even at the beginning. So okay. I'm just catching all this stuff, and I'm just like, what the heck is he talking about? Right? I said, I came late to the party. So
share replay.
I haven't been briefed on it all, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what my love language is.
Mm-hmm. Like, what was the best date that you've actually been on?
Oh, I was flown to Vegas to see Michael Jackson. Yeah, and it was awesome. I mean, yeah. Went to see Michael Jackson, dinner,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like to dance?
I do like to dance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So what are you thinking about when it comes to, like, if let's say, for instance, if you're the guy that you're dating, and if you knew that his love language was touch or affirmation, how would you communicate that to him? What are some of the ways that you think that you would communicate that to him?
If the way that he to communicate that with him, if I was going to like show him that I cared for him,
yeah,
and we're just dating, okay. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
So if his love language
right now, because and like Aaron was saying, it's just like you're older now, and it's just like, okay, would I be, doing a whole bunch of, right now, if I was dating somebody, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you a kiss. I don't owe you, I don't owe you a kiss on the cheek or none of that. I don't owe you none of that, because we're getting to know. If you really, really, really want to get to know me, you're getting to know me, right? And all the other stuff is just a reward later, right? So, yeah. I don't date. I just don't, right? I stopped dating. So just
why'd you stop dating?
Because I know who I am, and it works better for me. And I've dated people who weren't for me. Yeah, I've dated people who weren't for me. And then also, just to be honest, transparent, I got an expectation. I have an expectation. And so if I have that, there's no need to date, right? Because if I'm expecting you to be this dude, and if you're not that dude, then it's just like, okay, I'm going to have a problem, Yeah.
So do you think that you would ever find that other individual, that dude, like you said, that you believe that could suit you? Do you feel like I see Aaron put his hand up? Yeah, I know.
I just got two statements. Yeah, I got two statements.
Let Michelle answer the question.
The camera. No.
Okay, you said no. Okay. No. Now, why is that? Why is that? Is it that it has a lot to do with your standards, or why? Why do you think that you would never find a man that you would be willing to be in a relationship with, to marry somebody and or marry?
I've dated some awesome people. The person that took me to Vegas, awesome person, but condescending, right? Okay. And then, you've got the person that they can do everything for you and, fly you here and all that. But you have that one part, well, you know me well enough, that doesn't work with the life that I lead, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not going to work, right? So you have that person. Then you have the person that doesn't really have all of that, but they got some other stuff going on. There's always something, there's something, right? So, and I think that I have dated, like I said, some awesome people, but you know how you say, well, I want this, or I want this, or what are my deal breakers, or what have you? And one person will have all this awesome stuff, but then there'll be a deal breaker. It's just like, I can't hang out with you because you're not kind. Right? You're not nice to people, right? You know, if I give, you say, "Ooh, don't give that to somebody." So that doesn't work for me, right?
Yeah.
So I have to date somebody who believes in my purpose, because my purpose is bigger than anybody that I date. It really is. It takes over everything. So yeah. So in that is, I can't because my purpose consumes my life. So, and if we operate in that way, I can't even envision it. See outside of that there is somebody that can walk the path that I'm walking. I can't even see it. Yeah.
And so one of the things we know, and then Aaron, is that if you can't see it, for the most part, it will never manifest itself. But I'm really curious, Aaron, Mr. Booker, what's your comment?
Okay, so 2 comments. Number 1, dating is clumsy as hell out here. It is clumsy. And so I get that. It is. I don't know what has changed, but it's just clumsy. That's all I can say. The second thing is, you are right in one aspect that when she asks you, do you think you'll find that mate? Number 1, you're not supposed to be looking, you're supposed to be found. So, however, she's supposed to be found. A man that finds a good thing.
I'm not disagreeing.
So you have to, though, make yourself not available. You have to be able to be seen. So even if that's in your purpose, if you're working your purpose and you are being seen through your purpose, then he'll find you. But you can't be hidden away. So the fact that you can't, and your purpose also, I don't believe that your purpose should consume you to the point that you're supposed to be alone, because we're not supposed to do life alone. We're not supposed to build alone. We're not supposed to exist alone. We're not supposed to die alone. At the moment of death, you're going to be alone. But on the journey there, no, you're not supposed to be alone. So make time, and I think this goes into self-care. And I'm not saying that you don't. But make time for your self-care. Your purpose is going to be your purpose, but you have to make time for your self-care, and that is allowing yourself to be open to receive your Boaz.
Well, I want to say to you both, I love having and engaging in this conversation because it's so transparent. It's so raw. Like, I didn't expect any of this to happen. And I think it's good. Thank you for tuning in to Antoinette Marie Speaks After Dark. Okay, that was my display. But yes, we can do it. Because I think that this is a conversation that just needs to be had, and without anybody feeling like, well, if I say this, then I'm gonna be ostracized. If I say this, and I like what both of you have talked about the maturity. You know, I'm not going to pretend like I like something that I don't like.
Right.
Who am I trying to live out my life for? For Du Bois? No, I'm not. I have to be authentic. And if me knowing who I am, if Michelle knowing who she is, if Aaron knowing who he is, if I have to pretend, if he has to pretend, or Michelle has to pretend, who really are you? Like, in what type of relationship are you going to get in being pretentious 85% of the time? And so what I do know about Michelle is that she is the guru of just giving. guru and just being kind. I also heard you, Aaron, what you said, which was really great. Like your gift or your purpose should not supersede your entire existence. I think that's like phenomenal because I know many times for people that are achievers or just general human beings, we're so, we believe so much that, and I'm putting both my hands up because I'm definitely have been guilty of this. Like, you're chosen and so whatever that stuff is, but it's okay for you not to be by yourself too. Like, I think that you could even be greater to have someone that believes in you, that comes alongside of you and says, listen, this is in my voice, Michelle, this is my voice. Somebody comes along and say, baby, I just want to let you know, I know you're giving to all these people, social media, everybody you see. Here's a check for $10,000. You give it to whoever you want to. Baby, that takes your vision to a whole different level. And you're now able to help even more people. I totally get it. I do. I totally get it. And I think that we just have to be open. I think with you, Aaron, as well. I think you have to be open to just say, listen. And some people was like, I want to be married. I knew I'm a wife, period. I just am. Some women are like, I ain't really wife material. And they will tell you that. Not because they're bad, quote bad. They just don't want it. They just don't want to do it. And there is nothing wrong with that. You are on the other side and you do want to be married, but you still haven't found the right person, or you believe that you haven't met that particular individual. Just open up a little bit. Listen, I'm a minister. I can do a marriage now. I can do the ceremony. Don't worry about it. So just be able to open up if you want, because I don't believe that anybody should be alone.
Yeah,
I just really don't, Mr. Booker.
I don't believe that we're meant to do life alone. We're not. I think our experiences tend to convince us of other. But in the beginning, it was not meant for man to be alone. And if you're alone, you cannot follow the first commandment given to man: be fruitful and multiply. You can't do it. Not in the procreation sense. You can be fruitful, but you can't multiply. Yeah, you can be fruitful, but you can't multiply. So I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to be guilty of breaking any commandments, all 13 of them. I'm just saying.
Listen, you didn't get your life
together. Good apple pie.
First of all, being fruitful and multiplication ain't just about having babies.
I said that. That's what I just said. I just said that. I said
okay. Be fruitful and multiply that MBIS stock. That's what I want you.
Right. Now I got. But what I'm saying in that sense, he also meant be fruitful and multiply. Make yourself replicate yourself. You can't replicate yourself without. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can be fruitful because you will do the knowledge, you will bear kindness, you will bear love. So those will be the fruits that you will bear. But the multiplication in the physical sense, you are guilty of not doing if you are alone.
Michelle.
Unless you are providing to a sperm bank, and then you might be multiplying too much.
Thank you for having me.
Quotation.
Thank you for being on.
Quotation.
Thank you for being on, Michelle. I so appreciate you. I'm going to remove you and place you back in the green room, and you can log off and come in on the other side. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle. It was great. Hey, that was fun.
I know.
That was fun. Who else wants to jump in? Do we have any more time? We got 5 more minutes.
I do have listen.
Let's go. Let's just go. Let's just go. How about we just go? We just go till we can't go no more. What is today? Wednesday. It's Wednesday night. What you got to do in the morning? I know what I got to do in the morning, but come on, let's just go. It's early. It's only 6 o'clock, 6:30 my time.
I know. But as we have said, it is almost the weekend.
Yeah.
Valentine's. And I know people are, getting suited and booted and people are doing what they have to do. But I think that this has been an absolutely great conversation. If there's anybody else that can hear us and they want to come on and you want to come on for about 5-10 minutes, please feel free. Like I said on Bridging the Nations on Sunday, just say, put me in, coach, put me in. And I'm going to send you to our StreamYard so that you can come in and listen to this conversation, because I think this is a great conversation. So my last question to you, I can't get this. Oh, okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it, Angela. My last question to you is this. If you could speak to young men about relationships, about being in either a marriage, because you were married before, but just about relationships. How do you sustain a great, healthy relationship? What would you tell them if they asked you that question?
Trust and honesty, period.
Trust and honesty.
Trust and honesty. You have to have those two things. If you don't have those two things, then it's not worth it. Because if you can't trust the person, then you can't be honest with them about your feelings. And if you can't be honest with yourself, which is even more important, you have to be honest with yourself, about what you are looking for out of the relationship that you are in. Don't play with people. Don't play with them.
I like that.
It's okay. If it's not working out, it's okay. Just don't leave. Just don't up and leave high and dry. Close it out. It may hurt. The other person may get hurt. Okay. But close it out. Be honest about it.
Yeah.
It's better to rip the Band-Aid off than to have a slow pull.
Oh, that's true. And I love what you said. I like what you said about just don't play with people. Like that's made.
Don't play. Yeah, don't play with people. Be honest about what it is that you after. If you're there just for a good time, be upfront about it. Give that other person, give the other person the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Don't manipulate nobody. Don't manipulate. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And I think also like how we started off this live was talking about love languages, and you going back to what you said about don't play with people. Like tell people the truth. And if you don't know, your love language, and we're just using that as just an example, y'all. But if you really don't know yourself, just get to know yourself.
Yeah.
People who engage into a conversation or particularly a relationship. That would be one of the things I really truly want to say is yes, it is don't engage in a relationship. Don't even go in a relationship. And you still want to just play, right? Just don't do that, because there's so many reasons why. But one reason is there's something called, sowing and reaping. That's one. Another thing is that, we are all human beings, and we have to be very, very careful on how we treat each other. And if you know that you're not ready to engage in a conversation, to be in a marriage, to be in a relationship, then just sacrifice all that other stuff that you want and just say, listen, you know what? I don't want to do this. Because whatever you do to somebody else, it's coming back to you. That's just how it works, y'all. Like there's nothing mysterious.
Remember we were talking about the 2080.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say this. First, let me put out this disclaimer. I'm not a cheater.
That's good.
However, I can understand why people cheat. And where it comes from is a place of selfishness. Not that the person is a selfish person. However, whatever you feel you are missing at that point, you have sought elsewhere, which means that you are not ready to do the work that it requires to either repair or get it from the person you are with, or leave that situation altogether. And that's a bigger conversation. However, it goes back to being honest with yourself, knowing your love language, and being honest with the other person and knowing what you want. Because if that person is not going to give it to you, then don't waste your time and don't waste their time. Give them a chance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you just cutting. Give them a chance. Do the work. But if you find, however, if you get to a point to where it's not going to work, then leave. Don't do it to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself. Just leave.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times, take it on the chin. And I think a lot of times where, there are times where women don't leave because many times we're trying to fix somebody. We think that we're the fixer. Kind of what we talked about.
Right.
Kind of like, we got somebody else that said, oh, hold on. They finna, all right, let's see who this is. This is Miss Angela Irvin. Okay. All right. So so a lot of times what happens is that we're trying to be the fixer. We're trying to be the fixer. So hello, Angela Irvin.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing really well. Well, thank you for joining in on our very interesante conversation today. We're talking about everything love. So tell me a little bit about what you wanted to kind of chime in on.
Well, thank you for having me on. I just wanted to ask a question. Is the love language more important, or I guess the primary factor versus choosing someone of high quality? So which one is more important, the love language per se, or is choosing a mate of high quality? So is okay.
Go ahead, Aaron.
If I may, I'll pose it to you like this. I'm gonna let you answer this question. And I know you're not supposed to.
You go ahead and answer. You go ahead.
Well. If you choose a person of high quality and you are an affectionate person, but that high quality person doesn't like affection, how long do you think that's going to last?
Well, I wouldn't consider that to be high quality for me if they're not affectionate, and I am. That's not high quality for me.
Okay, so then in that respect, love language is important rather than choosing a high quality, because your high quality person has to be responsive to your love language.
Well, and if I'm going to choose someone that's of high quality, that means the love language and everything else that I deem to be high quality is there. It's not compartmentalized and say, well, you have to be, the love language has to be there and then you have to be high quality. To me, all of those things go together.
And as they should. So you've answered the question, which is, unless they have the love language, they are not high quality. So you, in your mind, which is what matters, because it's about you, your standard of a high quality person has to possess your love languages, which means your love languages are a priority. Because if a person doesn't fit your standard of high quality, doesn't mean that they're not a high quality person. They're just not a high quality person for you.
All right.
So yes, your love languages do determine, or should for anybody determine the quality of person. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. High quality, the love languages are more important than a high quality because they actually make the high quality person for you.
So it's kind of like the chicken before the egg type of answer.
The cart before the horse.
Cart before the horse. Okay.
Axle before the gas.
Okay. So
you can't have one. Yeah, for her, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, I totally get it. So tell me, Angela, what is it that like what's the number one quality that you look for when you're thinking about being in a relationship with the man? What's like the number one or number two qualities that you look for?
Well, one of the things is how well he's able to manage himself. If he's quick tempered, if he just fly off, the handle, if he's snappy, um, also to how well he's able to manage his finances, how well he's able to, if we've gotten to the place where we're talking, I ask questions, but I believe that there should be an interview phase when it comes to relationships. So therefore, for me, I'm going to ask questions probably the first conversation. I'm not going to give you a second conversation if I feel on the first conversation you have not satisfied me with the answers that I'm looking for. To me, I look at it as just like a job interview. If I'm going on a job interview, and if you're answering the questions, but it's not what they're looking for, if you don't meet the qualifications for that position, then they're not going to call you back for a second interview.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's how it is for me when it comes to me talking to someone. I talk with them the first time. I ask the questions that I need to ask because it's an interview phase. I'm going to ask the questions that I feel that I need to know if this is worth me even pursuing or giving a second opportunity to see what could be if we were to decide to go into a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just want to get clarification. So you're talking about asking these type of questions on a first date?
well, we're not even going to be, this is not even a first date. This is
this is not even a dating phase.
No, this is not even a date because I'm going to ask questions.
Okay.
Right, because I'm not going to give you a date if your questions if you're giving me answers that I'm not satisfied with. I'm not going to give you the time nor the energy to be in my presence.
So
because to me that's wasting time.
What type of interview questions, if I may ask? Just the type of questions you asked before this. What type of questions do you ask?
Well, I asked about family. I asked, tell me about your family. What type of family do you come from? How is your mother and father relationship? How is your relationship with your mom? Because to me, that's important. How is your relationship with your father? Because that's important. If you and your mother, because your mother is the first woman that you supposedly loved, but if you don't know how to treat her appropriately, then I can almost guess that you're not going to treat me any different than how you treat your own mother. So I asked about your family dynamics because I want to know, because if we're going to have a family together, how your family dynamics are and how contribute to how we are going to be in a relationship. How you're going to interact with me and engage with me in a relationship.
So what if my family dynamic is not the best dynamic, and I recognize that, and if I were to answer your question and I tell you that I really don't have a relationship with my mother, and I may not really get into the particulars of that, but it's just I really don't have a relationship with my mother. We've gone through some things, and we're just not there. How would you be able to ascertain the effect that relationship actually has in translating to treating you if you don't explore it? Because by your own admission, if that's not an answer that you like, then that means that that's not a conversation that's going to be explored.
Well, that wouldn't be the determining factor if I wouldn't explore the conversation. That's just one question.
Right.
I would couple all of them together. But for me, when it comes to asking questions about your mom and the type of relationship that you have with your mother, and if you stated, hypothetically speaking, I said this is what you're going to say, but if you stated that you and your mom doesn't have a relationship, I would ask questions as to why. However, if I find that you're opposing to disclosing then I would back off. I would back off that questioning. And then I would use my intuition. I would use my better judgment to decide if this is something that I want to pursue. Sometimes I believe women feel like the options and the pickings are slim. So therefore, we settle for things that we don't want because we feel like the choosings are slim.
That's a
And
true statement.
right. And so therefore, I'm not going to compromise. If I've been single for 2 years and by choice, because there are options out here for women, but if a woman is single by choice, why would she settle for something that she doesn't want? Whether it be a man doesn't have a relationship with his mother, his father, if those are her criterias, then that's what she needs to stick with. Whether the
Go ahead. I apologize for interrupting. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I just think that some of those things that you mentioned, family dynamics and such, because of the different aspects that they have, the entanglement that they have, that's a bit complicated, and to expect for a person to answer what could possibly be a very deep, leading to a traumatic experience just before you even see each other, I think you might be cutting the opportunity short. Some people don't do good. Some people do better face to face, answering questions. Some people feel you have to get a sense of a person face to face before they allow themselves to be open, or allow themselves to be as open to that person than over the phone. So I understand what you're doing, and I get it. I understand it. I get it. And I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I, however, am telling you that to cut it off just after one conversation without actually having a physical encounter, and what I mean by encounter is actually sitting across from the person to gauge a person and how they answer, what their body language is, because you strike me as a person that would look at those type of details. I think you just might be cutting yourself a little bit short off of some opportunities, and I don't believe that taking one physical date or one time to meet in person, I don't think that you are wasting your time at that point. I think you would be more so solidifying your decision rather than just cutting it off at one conversation over the phone. Just my opinion. Not that you're right or wrong. I'm just a suggestion, just my opinion.
Well, if I may,
I love you though.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the love. But for me to, if I may interject, I don't think that for me personally, I don't need to go on a date to solidify what I feel in my gut intuition. That's not for me. I don't need to do that. I don't need to.
I will not question a woman's intuition.
Right. If I feel within I'm going to give you an example. There was someone that I met and we talked, we chatted over the phone, and I asked that similar question that I just shared with you. And he was very open with me to tell me about his, family dynamics and his relationship with his mom. And from there, I can tell, there are things that he was leaving out, which it was okay for him to leave out those things. He has every right to do that. That's his, business. That's his private affair with his family. But he did disclose some things to me that I kept in the back of my mind. I kept in the back of my, and we did have more than one conversation. I gave him another conversation. Then that's when I noticed some of the things that he disclosed to me. Those things start to come out.
What you just said, what you just said, you gave him a second conversation.
Right, that's what I told you before. I wouldn't use that that would not be the only thing that would say I'm done talking with you. If you tell me you didn't have a relationship with your mother, I wouldn't just say, okay, well I'm finished the conversation.
No. I wasn't using that as an example. Like you said, you would take that answer, and with the rest of the answers, you would then surmise whether or not. So, but what I'm saying is, within that conversation, you did say that if all the rest of these little flags came up, then you would not give them a second deal. This person, however, this person you're talking about, you're saying that you did talk to them a second time.
I did. I talked to him a second
Okay.
time because some of the other questions that I asked, because he asked me questions too, but some of the other questions that I asked, I like the answers that I got. I like the answers that I received. And so therefore I figured, okay, this is someone that's worth me, investing some time, because to me, I look at my time as an investment as well as his time is an investment in me as well. So am I willing to invest more? Because it's like the stock market. When the stocks are high, you sell. When the stocks are low, you buy. So either you're going to buy into that relationship with your time and your energy, or you're not. So I felt as though the conversation, the things that we did discuss on the first phone conversation were worth me giving him a second opportunity. By the second and the third conversation, I knew then this was
Oh, there
not.
was a third. Okay, so there was a third.
It was a second, and then what you want to call 2.5 to 3 minutes into a conversation, because that was all the third one was. It was like
But there was a
minutes,
third. Okay.
2 minutes and 39 seconds to be exact. The conversation was over.
Now,
And
the reason why I say that,
over, and the person was blocked. And I blocked you from that point on because there's no need for us to interact anymore. And people say, well, that's kind of tough, that's kind of hard. No, that is someone who has standards, and you want what you want. And we have a right to want what we want, because men want what they want and they go after what they want. If you want a certain woman that looks a certain way, you're going to go get that woman that looks a certain way. But for females, because we feel like the pickings are slim for us, we settle for anything because we feel like, well, he got this, he's all right, and we just compromise in those areas. And it's not really what we really even want. But because someone tells you that you're pretty and we fall for that because you tell me that I'm cute. Okay, I see myself in the mirror every day. I don't need you to tell me that. And then I get goosebumps and I fall head over heels for you. I don't need you to tell me that. That's not the language that I need to hear. I want to hear the other language that you're not communicating with me, because we communicate in multiple ways, with our mouth and what we're saying and with what we're not saying. So we have to listen to both of them at the same time.
So I'm gonna say this. One thing is that what you related it to the stock market. So what you actually did was a long play there. I was about to say that, like when you bought low, and then you played it out because there was a hiccup in there, and then you got some other news. But anyway,
yeah.
The other thing is, I like what you said about we communicate not only in what we say, but what we don't say. But if you're looking for but the problem with looking at what is not said is that you may end up filling in the blank. And what you fill in that blank with may not necessarily be what wasn't said. Now, and once again, I'm saying this with the caveat. I'm saying this with the caveat of no, I'm not going to go against a woman's intuition. Y'all know, hey, male over here understands female, queen, yes, bow down. I understand that. So if your intuition is giving you a no, don't go that way, then no, don't go that way at all. I agree with you there. However, you strike me, and I'm just spitballing here, Angela. You strike me as an alpha female. You are very decisive in what you do. As you understand your own worth. And I would say this to you. You are right. In certain areas, pickings for women are slim. However, it may be the circles in which you are traveling in. At the level that you are at, and you know what level you're at, are you surrounded by, do you go to those places where all you find are those people? And the reason I say that is because it was told to me by a person who was a mentor, or a person I was in a mastermind with. Or I was sharing with him one of the things I desired about being around millionaires and billionaires, and the fact that I had always felt that I should be there. However, I have no millionaires or no billionaires in my immediate circle. Well, not when I was speaking then. I didn't. Now I have a couple. But my point is, especially for a female, you have the ability to level up and find that man in that arena that you want to. Do you have to? Because just like I told the other lady, you are to be found. You don't go seeking for nothing. You just be there, and he's gonna find you. But you have to be there. You have to be in the area for him to be able to see you. So the people that you may be encountering they're just below the level where you need to be.
I can agree to that to a certain extent, because I'm around different people. When I use the statement that the pickings are slim, and if you're looking at someone for as far as high quality, and if you're looking at the entire package, it is said that, and this is not the only factor, but I'm going to use this as an example, that the black male makes about, the average black male that's in their 40s makes about $45,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you're looking for someone who's making $150,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for someone that has high quality and other high quality factors that you're looking for, yeah, you would have to get yourself in different circles. But even in those different circles, you still can, there still is a probability of not finding what you're looking for as far as what you deem as to be high quality. So I believe then,
True.
and
That's true.
we are the prize or the catch. I believe in raising my own value and increasing my own self-worth, because I believe in the power of manifesting what I desire. And I believe I'm able to attract. I believe that the person that is for me, I do believe I have to get out there, because I don't believe that God is going to send someone magically to come ring my doorbell and say, hey, I'm the man you've been waiting for all your life. I don't believe that.
I don't know. He might, but you might feel like he was a stalker, because
No,
he just pops on you. No, I'm just saying he just pops up on you when you say that. But I mean, I'm joking. I'm joking. But it's
well, you know what? I wanted to just say, I think this is a great conversation. That mature adults can not always agree, but still be honorable and respectful, and can learn something at the same time, can see things that they may have not previously saw, or can hear things from someone else, and it causes them to meditate, think about it, and I think that many times is what's missing, perhaps, in relationships, because many times we want it our way. If it ain't my way, then you just hit the highway. But we have to be open, as Angela was saying, we have to be open, as Aaron was saying as well. We got to be open, like, yes, have those high standards or whatever those standards are. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel like any man or woman should have to decrease in their being, to decrease themselves in order to get a husband or wife. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that's how God created us. You're a male or a female, because whoever you decide that you want to be with, that's your choice. You went into that open, you went into that aware, and this other stuff that I keep hearing people talk about, well, I let my minister, my pastor choose my husband. Can y'all stop doing that? Can y'all please? I'm just gonna ask y'all one last time. Please stop doing that. They don't know who you are. You know who you are. And so just to be able to say, listen, if you know that the person that you're looking for as a man, about a guy, if you're looking for someone that is a self-starter, that's independent, that is working outside of the home, and the person that you are having a conversation with, whether light conversation or not, don't like none of that at all, as we said before, Aaron, stop playing with people. Just don't even engage.
Yeah, don't even engage. Right.
I understand where Angela was saying, like, listen, I can have a conversation with you, but if you play all the time and I don't do fluff a lot, I'm not really gonna, because we're not syncing together on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to have you to be me. I don't need a mini me. Even if you're a dude. Think like me, you don't have to talk like me, but there has to be something in my I call my Noah that makes my Noah jump. Like, I'm kind of inquisitive about you, and it's okay to be inquisitive about another human being. I think it's a good thing, actually. You have any closing remarks?
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining us at this short moment.
It was nice.
Okay.
It was nice. It was
but
nice.
I'm gonna. Okay, I believe it.
What?
Listen, if I have to do, I think what I'm gonna have to do is it's gonna be called No Red Flags Matchmaking. That's what I'm gonna call it. No red flags. No red flags. But Angela, I want to say thank you so much for just coming in and just, speaking your truth and having that opinion. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Isn't this great? So
it is.
off of here because
go? Do we have to go?
Yes, sir.
Shut it down
for 2 hours and 31 minutes. Yes.
It didn't feel like 2 hours. That means it was a good movie. You know those movies you walk out of it wasn't even it hadn't even felt like 2 hours.
I understand.
2 hours. Are you turning into a pumpkin? It's only 7 o'clock.
Listen. See, I do the neck. But listen, sir, I have a husband. You hear me saying?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you
do. Listen.
Yes. Yes.
We gonna. Yes.
Let's go on and close it down. Tell them I said no. Yeah. Let's go ahead and shut it out. You want to close it out? Pass the plate. All minds clear. Yes. Hallelujah. We're on the way home until we meet again.
But I want to say to each and every person that joined us on today, from whether you came from Facebook, Sister Friends United group, or YouTube. Thank you so much. Vaniqua, you have been, I tell you, a trooper. You have stayed for the entire 2 hours and 32 minutes. And I know that there's a couple of other people, but just tell me how much, I know this was different. I do know it was different, but I think it was necessary. And
it was fun.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have
thunk it?
Yeah. Who would have thunk it? Yeah.
Right.
I thought you said who want to book it. I thought someone wants to book.
No. Yes, and she said yes. Edwin, maybe one time you can come in and join in with Mr. Aaron Booker so that he's not the only guy by himself. And Shima, you are right, Sister Friends, a whole husband. I got a whole husband. I love doing
a whole husband.
But and Aaron has met my husband on several occasions.
Yes.
Love is a beautiful Love is a beautiful thing.
Whatever Mr. Wesley wants. Whatever.
And so love is a beautiful thing. If we can first start to love ourselves, get to know yourself, get to know what you like, what you dislike, and then say to yourself, I'm now ready to engage and to have all of me, the portion of me, pieces of me, to also be a part of somebody else's life. And until you do, leave people alone, don't do the fluff, and leave people alone, right? Do that work first. You got to do it. So I want to say thank you again. Thank you, Aaron, for joining me on today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. You will be on again. I am very, very sure. I'm going to put you in the room, okay?
Okay.
So listen, y'all, I thank you so much for joining me on today. We've been talking 2.5 hours about love, relationships, and really speaking about, love languages, but we went so far beyond love languages on tonight. And so I just want to say thank you. I thank you for just taking out the time. You didn't have to be here. Even the rest of the individuals that are on here. Shima, I appreciate you so, so much, my sister friend. You really, really, really don't know how much you really mean to me. I appreciate you and your time. And so, as always, and I do think I was right here writing a little notes. I think I might have to open up a matchmaking business. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Give me a name. I called it No Red Flags Company, No Red Flags Empire. I don't know. But, and as always, I will speak to you soon. On Sunday. Actually, Sunday is Valentine's Day. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So Bridging the Nations will be on Sunday. And as always, if you have a husband or wife, let them know that you love them. Love is more than what you say or what you speak. Love is an action. And you must show that you love them through an action. And as always, if you have children, let them know that they are important to you and your life's trajectory. It is important to you. And even if they don't tell you back that they love you, it's okay. It is okay. You have done your work. This is Antoinette Marie Williams of Antoinette Marie Speaks. And I just want to say I appreciate you. I adore you for spending your time with me on today. Have a beautiful and fantastic weekend. Be well and be safe.
Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams.